Earth angel, earth angel. Stay tuned. Getting settled. Get in. Get comfortable. We're reading COVID-19, The Great Reset, by Klaus Schwab and Thierry Malloret from Forum Publishing. Digital Hawk holds no copyrights is reading for Socratic debate and educational and informational purposes only, not monetized. Continuing at page 76 of the chapter Macro Reset, titled 1.3. Societal Reset. Please stay tuned while I get myself settled into the Digital Hawks reading chamber. Earth angel, earth angel, earth angel. Do, 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 do. Earth angel, earth angel. Woo, 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 woo. Earth angel, earth angel. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. 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 Earth angel, earth angel, earth angel. Boom, 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 boom. Get to work. Dream with me. Digital Hawk reported back to the reading chambers of the Hawk's Nest. Digital Hawk's Nest. Pressurizing in T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cabin is pressurizing. Cabin is pressurizing. The cabin is pressurizing. Digital Hawk is in the Hawk's Nests. Here we go. Welcome to the reading of the War Games. Let them begin. Continued. COVID-19, The Great Reset by Klaus Schwab and Thierry Malloret. From Forum Publishing, Digital Hawk holds no copyrights, owns nothing, is not monetized. Can't make $1 if you tried. Thanks. I've got so many irons in the fire. So many irons in the fire. Where are my swords? Where are my swords? I've got so many irons in the fire. Where are my swords? I said. I've got so many irons in the fire. So many irons in the fire. And here we go. This is going to be a very creative reading of COVID-19. The Great Reset, otherwise known as the War Game period. I can neither confirm nor deny that anything Digital Hawk says is from this timeline or this planet we call Earth. I think Jerry's still out on that one. And here we go. How do you like that, boss? This is the bosses. I've got the professionals in my head. I said all the time, I got the professionals in my head. I said, professionals in my head. Do you have anything for us from last night? Yes, I do. Thank you very much. It's decent. You can live on it. It tastes good. It smells good. But I wouldn't like to do it. Thanks. And well, here we are. Let's us begin the reading. Let us set a paltry 17 minutes on the clock. 17. Again. 20, 19, 18, 17. Strap in, we're gonna go epic. At some point we'll eat. And then we'll break. We'll break for energies. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. COVID-19, the Great Reset. Blow me. Okay? Sorry. Blow me. All right. COVID-19. 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 Crystals feel amazing. How did they make that? How did you make this planet? If this is a crystal, how did it turn into a skull? Hello? Why do I look exactly like it? Let's get the perspective. Really fascinating. I don't know what I can do. Can I put this on my engine and go really super fast? Tune in when we figure out how to do that, and you'll find out. Thank you very much. Sir, yes, sir. Alaskan plush. What a rush. All right. Oh, I cannot see with these vision goggles on. Nothing like a good cup of cold coffee. Thanks, planet. All right, where do I put this thing? Are we flying or what? Let's go. How do you put your coffee down in that jet fighter? No time for coffee and jet fighting? Come on. How do you coffee? How do you expect me to fight that jet? How do you expect me to fight a jet with no coffee? Coffee, photocopy. Here we go. Actually, I got a couple more things buttoned up in my brain. Hold on. Too many dangers and distractions and calamitous, precipitations. Definitely need some poisons. We'll need much more poison than that if we're gonna make it through this war. Yes, sir, we need more poisons. Just get it from the enemy. Roger that, sir. What flavor do they have? Roger that, sir. Cuomo won't let us vape. Roger that, sir. Oh, he's been tribunaled. Oh, excellent. Shouldn't have messed with the vape. Dang. Coffee tones in Bible lands. Here we go. Thanks, my pillow guy, for this large dog bed that I bought at the beginning of the war. I have another one fresh. It's gray. This one's maroon. I wish it was hot pink. Hot! All right, I'm coming in hot! Hancock. You think you could slow down a little bit, Hancock? Damn. All right, let's go. Oh, IKEA, thank you for this technical beauty. Checkouts. I knew I should have bought two. Dang it. Let's pour that and pour it out. Pour it now. All right, let's hit the road, Jack. Hit the road, Jack. Smoke of wood. Are we reading a what soldier? Let's go. You're not a soldier, you know that, right? I don't know. No, I don't know that. Not anymore, soldiers. Who knows? I could be your boss. I'm not. But guess what? You'd be dead if you were in Space Wars. Then how did I get this patch? Who put this on me? Don't even tell me Sportsman's Guide said this to me without my knowledge. Don't even tell me Amazon sells these in there. Velcro! I definitely received this from the Space Force itself. Definitely took it from another planet. Off a villain who was wearing it in a false flag operation. Capital! Race to the capital of the President wants us to go to the capital. Let's go to the capital. Let's go! Can't afford the gas. All right. It's about time. Feast your eyes on these lies and orchestrations from the mechanical engineer's brain bucket to yours. Read aloud and presented to you by the CDC, the Creative Design Commission for planet Earth, the galaxy, beyond. And we reading as fast as possible. Let's go. Got a war to end. War to end. Let's go. Top of page 67. Let's go. Yeah, steady as you go. All right. COVID-19, the Great Reset by Klaus Schwab. And some other guy named Thierry Malloret. I don't know copyrights. I already told you that. It's for educational purposes. Drop your comments in the live chat, whether you're here live, which you're not. For now and for later, and forever hold your Reese's Pieces. Let's go. All right, coffee. Where's that coffee? Whew. Right. Did I read it yet? Is everybody in? Shows about to be in. 1.3. Societal reset. Historically, pandemics have tested societies to their core. The 2019 COVID-19 crisis will be no exception. Hey, tell me, can you hear me now? 5x5 in the chat. I don't know. Probably not. Here we go. Changing audio Changing audio, you're now tuned into me. Hello, can you hear me now? Well, that's great, partners. Tuning into page 76, I repeat, 76 of COVID-19, the Great Reset. Yes, we shall start, we shall begin. Is everybody here? We shall start, we shall begin. Can we find any more distraction? Can we find one more distraction, please? Can we find at least one more 12 or 17? Oh, I wonder how you managed to make it this far. See, for I know that Klaus is actually a goldfish cartoon in American Dad. A wonderful cartoon. I love it. Very much so. I love it. Very much so. Did I love it? I for certain love it. Ah, son of a. All right, let's go. Tiger fell out of the sky for me. Let's go. Come on. Seriously, digital. Seriously, no one's gonna buy your cotton candy if you don't actually make any. Let's go. All right. Keep me on guard. All right, he's getting a little bit close. Hold on. Relax, dude. All right. Fine. I don't like the light. The light sucks in here. Do it better. Is that good? Take 1017. COVID-19, the Great Reset. Please fast forward to minute 1847 for page 76. 1.3.3. 1.3. Societal reset. Historically, pandemics have tested societies to their core. The 2019 COVID-19 crisis will be no exception. Comparably to the economy, as we just saw, and geopolitics, as we will see in the next chapter, the societal upheaval unleashed by COVID-19 will last for years and possibly generations. Not on my watch. Had you get on my watch at 10% low power. Damn it, 5:06 p.m. Local time, 5:06 p.m. The most immediate and visible impact is that many governments will be taken to task with a lot of anger directed at those policymakers and political figures that have appeared inadequate or ill-prepared in terms of their response to dealing with COVID-19. As Henry Kissinger observed, nations cohere and flourish on the belief that their institutions can foresee calamity, arrest its impact, and restore stability. When the COVID-19 pandemic is over, many countries' institutions will be perceived as having failed. Source number 55. This will be particularly true for some rich countries endowed with sophisticated health systems and strong assets in research, science, and innovation, where citizens will ask why their authorities did so poorly when compared to others. In these, the very essence of their social fabric and socio-economic system may emerge and be denounced as the real culprit, guilty of failing to guarantee economic and social welfare for the majority of citizens. In poorer countries, the pandemic will exact a dramatic toll in terms of social costs. It will exacerbate the societal issues that already beset them. In particular, poverty, inequality, and corruption. This could, in some cases, lead to extreme outcomes as severe as social and societal disintegration. Social refers to interactions between individuals or groups of individuals, while societal is the adjective that relates to society as a whole. Are there any systemic lessons to be learned relating to what has and hasn't worked in terms of dealing with the pandemic? To what has and hasn't worked in terms of dealing with the pandemic? To what extent does the response of different nations reveal some inner strengths and weaknesses about particular societies or systems of governance? Some, such as Singapore, South Korea, and Denmark, among others, seemed to fare rather well and certainly better than most. Others, such as Italy, Spain, the US, or the UK, seem to underperform on different counts, whether in terms of preparation, crisis management, public communication, the number of confirmed cases and deaths, and various other metrics. Neighboring countries that share many structural similarities, like France and Germany, had a rough equivalent number of confirmed cases, but a strikingly different number of deaths from COVID-19. Apart from the differences in healthcare infrastructure, what accounts for these apparent anomalies? Currently, June 2020. We are still faced with multiple unknowns regarding the reasons why COVID-19 struck and spread with particular virulence in some countries and regions and not in others. However, and on aggregate, the countries that fare better share the following broad and common attributes. They were prepared for what was coming logistically and organizationally. They made rapid and decisive decisions. They have a cost-effective and inclusive healthcare system. They are high-trust societies in which citizens have confidence in both the leadership and information they provide. They seem under duress to exhibit a real sense of solidarity, favoring the common good over individual aspirations and needs. With the partial exception of the first and second attributes that are more technical, albeit technicality has cultural elements embedded in it. All the others can be categorized as favorable societal characteristics, proving that core values, inclusivity, solidarity, and trust are strong determining elements and important contributors to success in containing an epidemic. It is, of course, much too early to depict with any degree of accuracy the form that the societal reset will take in different countries. But some of its broad global contours can already be delineated. First and foremost, the post-pandemic era will usher in a period of mass wealth redistribution, from the rich to the poor, and from capital to labor. Second, COVID-19 is likely to sound the death knell of neoliberalism, a corpus of ideas and policies that can loosely be defined as favoring competition over solidarity, creative destruction over government intervention, and the economic growth over social welfare. For a number of years, the neoliberal doctrine has been on the wane. It's going to hurt you inside your mind, but intense. I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm actually reading this book entitled Don't Use Your Space COVID-19, the Great Reset by Klaus Schwab and Theory of Publishing. Copyrights have not been designated for Socratic debate, discussion, live chats, and educational purposes only. Educational purposes only, including the dolphins, which we will touch. For a number of years, the neoliberal doctrine has been on the wane, with many commentators, business leaders, and policymakers increasingly denouncing its market fetishism. But COVID-19 brought the coup de grace. It is no coincidence that the two countries that over the past years have embraced the policies of neoliberalism with most fervor, the US and the UK, are among those that suffer the most casualties during the pandemic. Either I can neither confirm nor deny either anything I say nor will comply. Goodbye. These two concomitant forces, massive redistribution on the one hand and abandoning neoliberal policies on the other, will exert a defining impact on our society's organization, ranging from how inequalities could spur social unrest to the increasing role of government and redefinition of social contracts. 1.3.1. Inequalities. One seriously misleading cliche about the coronavirus resides in the metaphor of COVID-19 as a great leveler, source number 56. The reality is quite opposite. COVID-19 has exacerbated pre-existing conditions of inequality. COVID-19 has exacerbated pre-existing conditions of inequality wherever and whenever it strikes. As such, it is not a leveler, neither medically nor economically, or socially or psychologically. The pandemic is in reality a great unequalizer. Source number 57, that has compounded disparities in income, wealth, and opportunity. It has laid bare for all to see not only the vast numbers of people in the world who are economically and socially vulnerable, but also the depth and degree of their fragility, a phenomenon even more prevalent in countries with low or non-existing social safety nets or weak family and social bonds. This situation, of course, predates the pandemic, but as we observed for other global issues, the virus acted as an amplifier, forcing us to recognize and acknowledge the severity of the problems relating to inequality, formerly brushed aside by too many for too long. So it's my fault, you're saying? Are you blaming us? Are you blaming us? Are you blaming us? COVID-19's Great Reset by Klaus Schwab and Thierry Mallory from Forum Publishing. Digital Hawk owns no copyright, is not monetized. For Socratic discussion only, educational purposes only. Fall in line, soldier. Page 78. Read. Understand, listen. Go over it. Double speed. Later. Again. Go. Fall in line. Let's go. Where was I? Oh, yes. Middle of page 79. The first effect of the pandemic has been to magnify the macro challenge of social inequalities by placing a spotlight on the shocking disparities in the degree of risk to which different social classes are exposed. In much of the world, an approximate, albeit revealing narrative emerged during the lockdowns. It described a dichotomy. The upper and middle classes were able to telework and self school their children from their homes, primary or, when possible, secondary, more remote residences, considered safer, while members of the working class, for those with a job, were not at home and were not overseeing their children's education, but were working on the front line to help save lives, directly or not, and the economy. Well, I have news for you on that. I'll discuss later on what that just said. You'll see. Time is irrelevant. While members of the working class, for those with a job, were not at home and were not overseeing their children's education, but were working on the front line to help save lives, directly or not, and the economy, cleaning hospitals, manning the checkouts, transporting essentials, and ensuring our security. In the case of a highly developed service economy like the US, roughly a third of total jobs can be performed from home or remotely. Roughly a third of total jobs can be performed from home or remotely, with considerable discrepancies that are highly correlated with earnings by sectors. More than 75% of American finance and insurance workers can do their job remotely, while just 3% of much lesser paid workers in the food industry can do so. 58. Source number 58. In the midst of the pandemic, mid-April, Most new cases of infection and the death count made it clearer than ever that COVID-19 was far from being the great leveler or equalizer that so many people were referring to at the beginning of the pandemic. Instead, what rapidly emerged was that there was nothing fair or even handed about how the virus went about its deadly work. Went about its deadly, the virus went about its deadly work. The virus went about it. The virus went about it. The virus went about its deadly work. In the US, COVID 19 has taken a disproportionate toll on African Americans, low income people, and vulnerable populations such as the homeless. In the state of Michigan, where less than 15% of the population is Black residents represented around 40% of deaths from COVID 19 complications. Define complications. Define COVID 19 complications. Define COVID 19 complications, sir. The fact that COVID 19, the fact that, yeah, it's a fact, Jack. It's a fact, Jack. Apparently, foreign publishing's got the facts. I can neither confirm nor deny anything. Neither that I am reading nor that I am not reading. Neither that I am me nor that I am not me. That I am monetized or not. Because I'm not. Couldn't be if I tried. And I can't. It's not the point. I'm having fun reading this for pleasure. It is my pleasure to read this to the universe. The Dharma Agent OFC he is. Of course he is. Oh, but of course. Okay. I wonder how many sources and studies there will be by the end. They will have too many of us for us to give a fuck about their sources. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dharma Agent. Always a pleasure. My OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans site. If I did, you can afford me. Okay. It's too creative out there. It's a creative world. Brought to you by the CDC Creative Design Commission. Get back to the book. Having too much fun unraveling your little bullshit knot. Okay? Bye. The fact that COVID-19 affected Black communities so disproportionately is a mere reflection of existing inequalities. In America, as in many other countries, African Americans are poorer, more likely to be unemployed or underemployed, and victims of substandard housing and living conditions. As a result, they suffer more from pre-existing health conditions like obesity, heart disease, or diabetes. They make COVID-19 particularly deadly. That makes COVID-19 particularly deadly. Well, let's start from the beginning of the why, the pre-existing health conditions. So you say with this beautiful marketing term like obesity, well, then why? And like heart disease, well, then why? And like diabetes, like why? Okay. That all make COVID-19 particularly deadly. Well, gain of function. Can neither confirm or deny. But you can Google patent. The second effect of the pandemic and the state of lockdown that ensued was so exposed to the profound disconnect between the essential nature and innate value of a job done and the economic recompense it commands. Let's repeat that because you suck. The second effect of the pandemic and the state of lockdown that ensued was so to expose the profound disconnect between the essential nature and innate value of a job done and the economic recompense it commands. Put it another way, we value least economically the individual society needs the most. How about like artists, t-shirt designers, musicians, creatives of any kind. The sobering truth is that the heroes of the immediate COVID-19 crisis, those who at personal risk took care of the sick and kept the economy ticking, are among the worst paid professionals: the nurses, the cleaners, the delivery drivers, the workers in food factories, care homes, and warehouses, among others. It is often their contribution to economic and societal welfare that is the least recognized. Their the phenomenon is global, but particularly stark in the Anglo-Saxon countries where poverty is coupled with precariousness. The citizens in this group are not only the worst paid, but also those most at risk of losing their jobs. In the UK, for example, a large majority, almost 60% of care providers working in the community operate on 0 hour contracts. 0 hour contracts, which means they have no guaranteed regular hours and, as a result, no certainty of regular income. Likewise, workers in food factories are often on temporary employment contracts with fewer rights than normal and with no security. As for the delivery drivers, most of the time categorized as self-employed, they are paid per drop and receive no sick or holiday pay, a reality poignantly portrayed in Ken Loach's most recent work. Delivery drivers are paid per drop, receive no sick or holiday pay, a reality poignantly portrayed in Ken Loach's most recent book, Sorry We Missed You, a movie that illustrates the dramatic extent to which these workers are always just one mishap away from physical, emotional, or economic ruin, with cascading effects worsened by stress and anxiety. When you see the black dog, pull over. In the post-pandemic era, will social inequalities increase or decrease? Much anecdotal evidence suggests, at least in the short term, that the inequalities are likely to increase. As outlined earlier, people with no or low income jobs are suffering disproportionately from the pandemic. They are more susceptible. They are more. They are more susceptible. Forever. Page 82. Dropping it out of the sky. Don't know why. Missions abound. They surround you. Fly around. Find your projects. Do something fun. Realize. Stay tuned for later when I find the energy balls. Digital Hawk heeds to need. Forever heeds to need. Digital Hawk heeds to need. Digital Hawk out. Dropping out of the sky. Let's go. 120 miles an hour.